Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every fortnight we get together to talk about movies, TV and online content and help you answer the question, should I delete those politically incorrect remarks I wrote on the internet in 2010? Yes. Yes, you should. Joining me today, Dylan Blight.
Hey, I delete my Facebook and history every time it pops up.
Also joining me, Ciaran Marchant.
Oh, hey, what up?
So we've got a lot to cover this week, so let's just get straight into it. Dylan, you were super sick last episode, that's why you weren't here, but you spent that time wisely catching up on a bunch of stuff. The first thing I
watched a lot.
A lot, yes. We'll get into some of it, but the first thing I want you to tell us about is Sharp Objects.
What episode are we on? 4, I think, this week.
Yeah.
4 out of 8. So about halfway through it, it's based on the Gilligan Flynn. I think that's the author's. Oh no, something like that. Same girl who wrote
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl. Yeah, based on one of her books. Oddly enough, I've had this book sitting on my shelf since I read Gone Girl many years ago, and I've never actually read the Sharp Objects book, but I brought it the same day I brought Gone Girl, read Gone Girl, and I think I was like, I've had enough of this ultra depressive world for a while. I'll read Sharper Objects another day, which was a good decision because Sharp Objects is not an easy show to watch or digest. To put without spoilers, because I feel like you can give away a lot too easily. Each episode ends, and it should ends with the lifeline, like Beyond Blue, like here are the numbers if you're suicidal. Like the show ends every episode with here are these types of things. So it's a type of show.
That sets a tone.
Yeah, it's
That sets a tone.
It's hard to watch at times, not because it's like super gory or anything. It's just the character is that Amy Adams plays is has problems, to put it simply.
So what's the premise?
Then, so she's a reporter in some town. I don't know. She's like left her hometown. And then a murder happens in her hometown, which is your typical butt-fuck nowhere, middle America type of small town. You know, everyone knows everyone. The sheriff fucking has cups of tea with everyone every afternoon because there's only like 100 people that live there type scenario. And a little girl went missing, and then another little girl's gone missing. So her editor's like, go back down to your hometown. It'll be good to get back there to tackle some of your issues. And he makes out like he's aware that she has like problems with her past there. So he's kind of sending her there as an excuse, but also trying to help her type thing. And then when she gets there, the little girls are still missing, but by the end of the first episode, there is indeed a murder on the hand, a killer on the loose. So then the show is basically a combination of who's the killer and her discovering what her past is in the town and some of the characters that are there, and you discover that some people aren't what they seem. Yeah. It's pretty good. Every episode's directed by the same guy who directed Big Little Lies or Lies.
Yeah, I think that was what it was called.
Yeah.
Big Little Lies or something.
Yeah, which was my favorite show last year. So that's why I was more excited because that was my favorite show last year, and this is every episode. And that guy directed every episode of that show last year. He directed all 10 episodes of it, and then straight off the back of finishing that TV series, he went on to directing the 8 episodes of this back to back to back. And I'd be highly surprised if this isn't at the Emmys for performances, writing, all that sort of stuff, much like Big Little Lies, or whatever it's called, was last year. Although, this guy deservedly, I think, needs a break, because both of these TV series are about, they got some dark undertones to them. And I read an interview of Amy Adams this week that was like, someone's like, is there going to be a season 2 of this? She's like, no, the story finishes, and the time I had playing that character was tormenting enough for me to be in the mental state that I needed to be in to play that character. So I'm glad I'm not doing a second season. So that sounds fun.
Yeah.
At least an actor is honest enough to say that, like Amy Adams, you know? It's not like, give me...
It's not exactly a fun role to play.
Yeah. Jean-Marc Vallée is the
Yep,
director.
that guy.
Who also directed Dallas Buyers Club.
Mm-hmm.
Another fun subject matter. So,
Yep.
yeah. Let's move off that tone. Something I watched in the last couple of weeks. It's a show called Final Space that dropped on Netflix. It was a TBS show in America that debuted back in February. It's an animated series. It tells the story of a astronaut named Gary and his alien friend Mooncake as they investigate as they focus on intergalactic adventures as they try to solve the mystery of final space. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It reminds me of like Futurama and a lot of those other animated sci-fi shows. Mooncake is pretty fun to watch. He's just like a green blob pretty much. But
Yeah, I just typed it in just now. Yep. It does look like Futurama or something. That animation style.
yeah, it's definitely going for that tone.
Whatever.
And there's some great. It throws in that drama bit as well, like Futurama does at moments. So it's a good watch.
Oh no, Futurama got me at some points.
Yeah.
Does this show get you like that?
Oh yeah,
David Tennant's in this.
yeah.
And Stephen Young.
Yeah, there's pretty solid voice acting cast. Fred
David
Armisen,
Tennant's been really into the voice acting lately.
Yeah.
He just got announced on Rooster Teeth's new animated series, Genlock. He got announced that he's on that with Michael B. Jordan and stuff.
Man, they're getting some big names.
They're getting big names on that show. That's really interesting. I wonder if they're going for a TV deal.
Yeah. So Final Space, check it out on Netflix. It's only 10 episodes, and hopefully season 2 is coming soon. Because spoilers.
To leave on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of annoying because they start. It's not. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that they start every single episode with he's in a situation where he can't get out of. He's like stuck in space. He's got like 10 minutes of like air supply left, and
he's
each
going
episode
backwards?
starts with like a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you get a minute of that at the start of every episode, and then there's a cliffhanger at the end of the last one. So yeah.
The timer gets stuck.
Yeah. It's annoying. Dylan, something else you watched recently? Happy. We've mentioned it before, but you finally got around to watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. Finally got around to watching it. I would sell it if you're a fan of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Is how I would describe it, because it's that dark humor, I guess, and the character has a similar type of sarcastic, ridiculous wit to it. Like, it's not a guy in a costume, but it's still kind of flat out ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's directed by one of the guys who did Crank, so that if that can kind of set the tone for the action and the ridiculous nature of it. And it's I mean, it's hard to, when we talked about it before, the pitch is this. If you missed that one, the pitch is guy who's an ex-cop is like a drugged up hitman, doesn't really care about life anymore. You know, he's just going around drunk and on drugs all day, doing his hitman jobs. And then one day he goes for a near-death experience. And as he's going through a near-death experience, this little girl gets kidnapped. Then he wakes up in an ambulance, and there's an imaginary unicorn there. And the imaginary unicorn says, "Hey, you gonna come help me find the girl who I'm the imaginary friend for?" And it's voiced by Patton Oswalt, is the voice of the unicorn. And this dude rightfully says, "I'm fucking having a near-death experience. I'm losing my fucking marbles." So he pulls out a gun and tells the hospital people to give him more drugs. And then he passes out, wakes up in the hospital again. He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad that's all passed." Meanwhile, the evil henchmen are coming for him because he has like a secret code word that's for a hitman. You know, the plot is ridiculous, but it rides that level of ridiculousness quite well, because there's crazy hitman people and crazy mobsters, and then you've got a flying fucking unicorn around, and then the guy who plays, I can't remember, Jev it up, the name of the actor who plays
He's from
the main dude. Hold on, I'm trying to Christopher Maloney,
yeah.
right? Yeah, Christopher Maloney, who is basically, whenever I see him, I just picture CSI or one of those shows.
Law and Order SVU.
Law and Order SVU, which he's in, and he plays it very serious, and that's all I can basically think of him from. in this, he is just the complete opposite. And I'm like, you need to be doing more shit like this because he is gold in this. He plays it so fucking well. And they're apparently going to be doing a second season this year, so I'm excited because it is batshit crazy. And if this is coming from someone who doesn't enjoy the Deadpool movies as much as others and doesn't really enjoy some parts of the humor on that, but I think this show does it better because it doesn't have like the self-aware, like he's not talking to the camera, but the jokes and stuff are still that Deadpool level of ridiculousness. So I'll check it out. It's 8 episodes. And yeah, there's a part where the imaginary unicorn sniffs cocaine, and that's a fun time.
I mean, if you're not sold on that, you're not going to get sold on it.
Unicorns on cocaine, man. What more could you need?
It's pretty much watch the trailer, and if the trailer makes you go, that looks absolutely stupid, why that's not funny at all, then this show's probably not for you. But if you watch the trailer and you're like me when I watched it a couple months back, and you watch the trailer and you're like, tell me more. Like I think then it's worth checking it. Because I watched the TV show trailer months ago, and I straight away brought the comic because I watched the trailer while I was at work, and then found out that it was based on a graphic novel. Brought the graphic novel, read that in one sitting, and then was like, "Cool, I'll let some space between when I've read the comic and the TV show, just so it doesn't all become melded together." Now I've watched both, and I'd say the TV show is better than the comic actually.
Yeah,
which is a rare case. Yeah, it kind of takes elements and improves them. And Grant Morrison, who wrote the comics, involved with the show, so I think it's one of those cases where you get to come back to a property that you've 10 years ago did, and you kind of get to throw out ideas to the writers and stuff of how
things you've been regretting or thinking about for the last however long. You can make changes to,
yeah,
in a good way. So something else I've been binging is season 3 of the Netflix documentary series Last Chance U. So it's it's based around junior college football. So they go and they film a junior college football team.
I think my dad's watched this.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. So a lot of what happens is a lot of kids from the bigger schools, they get released for personal academic reasons. So they end up at one of these schools. And they try and perform good and get back up there. So it's like a struggle story because they're all not the greatest kids, and
it's like redemption arc, they
sort
go
of, yeah.
for it, but some of them don't achieve redemption.
And so this is the first 2 seasons they did it at East Mississippi Community College. This season they did it at Independence Community College in Kansas. So it's a new coach, new coaching staff, new bunch of people. So it's a bit interesting to see that. But again, the head coach is like a fiery. Both times have been fiery characters who talk back to their players and the coaching staff and get angry, and
that's you gotta be though. You gotta be in those situations. You gotta be fiery, and
probably not to the extent they are, but they get So it's a good watch if you like sports documentaries, that sort of thing. Something to check out. They also did at the end of the season. They also did a special recount, a reunion. Sort of going back and looking at the people from the first 2 seasons. And unfortunately, one of the players was involved in a homicide. So the second half of that episode turns into a crime documentary, like a courtroom drama. They play through. Yeah, so it was a bit depressing.
What a spin!
Yeah, you come here for uplifting sports and you get depressing crime. So that's what I've been watching. Dylan, you've got a whole bunch of other stuff on your Trakt.tv watch list. I'll just list names. If you want to talk about them, you can talk about them.
Spin me, I'll give mini reviews.
Preacher.
I pretty much caught up on Preacher. I watched all of season 2, and now I'm up to date on season 3 because it's airing at the moment. Having a grand old time. I'm on board.
Yeah. Okay. American Horror Story.
I've watched the first 2 episodes of season 7, which was the last one that aired. I think it's bad, but it's so weird that I'll keep watching.
The confession tapes.
I'm only 1 episode. No, I think I'm only the confession tapes. That was good. I had to remember which one that was. That was interesting. That is a true crime one where it's about people who basically it'll make you angry at the law system because it's about people who got tricked by cops and stuff into giving confessions, and a lot of them are in small time American cities and stuff where the cops are, well, they're kind of corrupt to a degree. You know, they're like, well, the black guy did it. You know, for example, that's bad to say, but for example, it's just like we'll make that person admit they did it by having them sit in a interview room for 12 hours straight, just being like, it's okay, you know, you can leave. You won't get in trouble once you say it. And, like, after 12 hours of hearing that, eventually someone breaks. Yeah, it's a doco that makes you angry. That's a good one.
Yeah. The Incredibles 2.
I thought it was fine. I much like my opinions on the first movie.
You didn't love the first one, so
I didn't love yeah, but it's one of those things. It's like I don't love the Incredibles, and people are like, oh yeah, what's wrong with you, Dylan? You don't like the Incredibles? It's like I didn't say I didn't like the Incredibles. I said I don't love the Incredibles, and my feelings for the Incredibles 2 is pretty much the same. I think it comes at the cost of there being so many superhero properties these days, though, because I don't think those characters stand out as interesting. Jack was great, as you said, when he was on the show.
Yep.
I was laughing out loud that entire segment when his powers are doing stuff. That was probably the best part of the movie. But, you know, overall, like, comparatively to, you'll get to it in a sec, but I watched Coco last week, or whatever.
Okay, let's talk about that directly after this, yeah.
Yeah, Coco's 10 times better than Incredibles 2, as far as I'm concerned.
Did you cry?
I don't know about 10 times. Maybe
close.
Like 1.5 times.
Well, I don't know. I think Coco is a way better movie than Incredibles.
Or is it
2.
just because it's more original?
I think overall everything. Animation and everything. It was
that's
more
true,
interesting to look at. The characters.
I think it's more like this animation style. It's just the Incredibles 2 was married to the style
the style of the
original.
first one. Yeah, I guess that's the problem.
Of course, it looks way better, but
it does. But it's still those those designs are meant to look kind of like your 60s typical superhero characters, which is what they was going to.
The effort they go to in animation nowadays is pretty crazy, though. Like, even just like the hair on Mr. Incredible's arms, like just like how it even comes up through his shirt at times is...
That's nice attention to detail. It's not going to make me say it's better than the beautiful, wonderful art direction that is Coco when they go to the land of the dead. Like, front and center. It's better than hairs on arms.
I wasn't saying it was bad. I was just saying it's really good.
Yeah.
What level they've come to. Gosh.
So, yeah. Coco. The Exorcist TV show.
I think I'm 5 episodes in to the first season. This aired like 2 years ago, I think. And I know the big twist that happens towards the end of the season already because I got spoiled. But that was the reason that made me want to watch it in the first place. I think it's a lot better than you'd think it would be, considering most TV shows that are based on big time movie properties, you're kind of like, it's going to be shit. Your brain just assumes it'll be shit. But this is pretty good. It's got some scary characters in it. Goes in non-typical directions. It goes in directions that you don't think it would be going in. So if you like scary stuff, I'd suggest it.
Tammy.
Nah.
The Boss.
Yes.
The Purge election year.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't think it's the best Purge, but it takes the Purge in it's in the title. It takes the Purge in a lot more political direction than the previous ones.
Chips.
Nah.
Daddy's Home.
Strangely enough, I enjoyed that more than I thought I would.
Is that because you've been built up by certain internet personalities, or?
No, I remember watching the trailers and thinking it was just going to be meh or whatever, but I laughed out loud several times in that, because I suppose Will Ferrell for me is hit or miss, and these days a lot of the times it's just Will Ferrell being Will Ferrell, and it's not enough for me. It's like I've seen this 20 times before, but there was something about his dumbfound character in that with him and Mark Wahlberg also have good chemistry together, as they've proven, like from the other guys and stuff. So no, I'd say that was enjoyable enough that I'm thinking about renting. I
was about to ask you, wanting to get.
I was going to say, are you going to do the second one? Or?
Yeah, I think I do the second one. I'm on board. I need to see John Cena, because they tease at the end of that movie, John Cena shows up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know where this goes, because I know the second one has him in it. So I'm like, oh yeah, got this big story to tell now. I need to know it all.
Caliber.
Caliber. Oh, yeah, that I was like, I can't remember half the name of this shit.
Yeah.
Caliber was good. It's like a Netflix original, I believe, movie. It's a really tense thriller, and I haven't watched a really tense, good thriller in a while. And by that I mean it's not a horror movie. It is a legit like edge of your seat. You kind of want to look away because you don't want to see what's going to happen, but not because it's gory, just because you're like really tense. But the premise is two guys. It's like English movie, UK or Scottish or, something. They head up, they got accents anyway, racist. They head up into the woods somewhere, middle of fuck knows where, small town. They want to go hunting there. And at the start of the movie, they're out lining up a deer, one of them. And right as he pulls the trigger to shoot the deer's head moves out of the way, shoots and kills the little kid. So then they go down there like, fuck, what are we going to do? Dad runs up. Fuck you. He's like pointing his gun at the dude who just shot him. And then his friend off in the distance kills the dad. Then they bury the two bodies. And then they're like in this small town. And then the movie from then on is they've got they can't just leave straight away because it'll be too obvious kind of thing. So then they're trying to stay out their time in the village without anyone finding out. So the entire time it's like, and it's like hide the evidence, can't get caught. And it's one of those movies where you're watching it like, oh God, he's going to fuck up. He's going to but then it's like, do you want them to get the fuck up? Do they deserve to get caught? He didn't mean to shoot the kid. So it's one of those like, but then the other guy shot the other dude. It's a whole dilemma, but yeah, it was good.
It's a whole dilemma.
Yeah.
Bright.
Nah, fuck that movie.
It
It was as boring and horrible as I thought it was going to be. Glad I watched it when I was sick. I couldn't wait for it to be over.
Okay. The Ritual.
No, that was shit too.
Your Name.
Right, I'm going to say it's overrated. You've watched this, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's really good.
This is like one of these touted for people that know.
I can see how going into it now would be difficult because it's been everybody loves it. It's just
last
been
year
too
it
overhyped.
was the anime film of everyone being like, this is the fucking bomb. This movie is too good. Like, this is the best anime film since fucking sliced anime. This is the one you're gonna
since sliced anime.
Yeah.
This is the one you're gonna love, guys.
Haven't you seen that one, Ciaran?
No,
my name's
no, I haven't.
It's a Japanese treasure. Jeez.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Get cultured.
I thought I was down with the anime, but okay, sure.
The premise of the movie is guy in Tokyo, girl in small place outside, like a couple hours outside Tokyo village or whatever. They keep waking up inside each other's bodies, kind of, I suppose is the best way to explain it, like Freaky Friday-esque. But like switching on and off throughout the week. And they leave messages for each other and stuff like that. That whole first third of the movie I found boring. I didn't particularly like it.
Okay.
When we get towards once that part passes and you head towards the second third or towards like the halfway point of the movie, from then on I enjoyed it. And I especially enjoyed the last act. But that first Freaky Friday back and forth, like the setup of the premise of the movie, I found just not quite as interesting as maybe others, I guess. But overall, it's still good. I don't hate it. It just wasn't the 9 or the 10 out of 10 that I've seen people giving it.
Okay. So based on that, I'm assuming you didn't get spoiled before you'd seen this.
No, I didn't have any spoilers. I just knew everyone was saying it was.
Okay.
I'd seen really high scores and stuff. That's all.
I think everybody needs to go see Your Name just so you can make up your own mind.
I wouldn't argue against that. I think everyone should watch it together.
Yeah.
It's good.
The Lost City of Zed. Or Z, if you're American, I guess.
Yeah, I really like that. That's a slow burn, like 2.5 hour, based on a true story. Charlie Hunnam, who I used to hate, but now I like, plays this real life dude who basically is out looking for El Dorado, and like he goes and he's like part of the military or whatever, and they put out this whole degree, or they put out this team that's like, you're going to go out to this buttfuck forest area to do mapping, geographic mapping, because this is when they need to, this is the time set during a period where they're trying to work out exactly where borders are between countries and all this sort of stuff. And like countries on the edge of war because they don't know where the borders are, and they hire the English or whatever part he's part of to go out there and map it all out. And there's just this drama about him out there for, a year of his life or whatever, exploring and trying to find this mystical place that's basically El Dorado. It's never mentioned as El Dorado, but it's what he says is the lost city of Z or Z. And if you want a reason to watch it and you like Spider-Man, that kid's in it.
Tom Holland.
Was this the
Tom
movie that he
Holland's in
got big in? That he was like his first role when he was a kid?
He's like a teen. He plays his son in this. He plays Charlie Hunnam's son.
But he's much younger than he is now, like from Spider-Man and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a couple years before Spider-Man. So this is just before Spider-Man, I think. But yeah, he's pretty good in it. Overall, I enjoyed it. But I suppose it's one of those. I mean, it is like a 2.5 hour drama. So if 2.5 hour drama doesn't interest you, then it doesn't interest you, I guess. But it interested me enough that when the movie finished, I was looking up books about the dude as well, just out of interest, because I wouldn't mind reading more, because I find the whole story, without spoilers, especially what happens to him at the end of his life, is one of those, it still hasn't been solved to this day. Like it's a mystery what happens to him. He kind of just disappears. So it's interesting, I'd say.
Okay. The Edge of 17.
I didn't like it as much as I thought I would based on the trailer, but I'd still think it's pretty good. It's not your like typical teen rom-com or whatever you want to call it. So Haley Steinfeld's good, Woody Harrelson's good.
Just
like
solid.
a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable, but not amazing.
Okay, Love, Simon. How did you go revisiting it?
Rewatched it, recried. One of the best movies of the year. I'll stand by that. It's currently in my top 5.
Okay, because I watched it. I thought it was okay. I could, yeah. I mean, I think the Simon character makes a lot of bad choices.
What? You're an outrage. You're a fucking outrage.
Here we go.
Fucking outrage. What are you homophobic for, Ash? How good is what's his face in that though? The dad. I can't remember his name.
Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel. Yeah. How good is Josh Duhamel in that?
I guess pretty good. I mean, he doesn't have a lot to work with, I guess. He's got that one scene where they sort of come together.
Bond? Yeah. I thought he was really good. I thought he was like...
That makes you cry, but... Yeah.
I cried a lot in that movie. When I was sitting in the
a
cinema,
lot of it, he's
it was
playing
like
the stoic
yeah,
dad,
he's used to...
so.
Yeah. When I watched that in the cinema, I was right down at the front of the row, luckily there was no one sitting in front of me. They look behind, they just see me, water buckets.
Why are my feet wet?
Buckets.
Yeah, why are my feet wet? Guy from behind. No, Love Simon's great. One of the best movies of the year. Everyone should watch it.
Yeah. Goosebumps.
Great soundtrack too, by the way.
Goosebumps.
Great soundtrack.
Tell me a good
Goosebumps. I wished I'd watched it a while ago.
Is this the Jack Black one?
Yeah, the Jack Black one.
Yeah, okay.
It's generally just a good, fun family.
Is it in the same vein as like good fun as in Jumanji?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as Jumanji, but Jumanji's like a classic, I guess. But it's that like all the monsters escape and then the kids are running around with Jack Black around town trying to collect all the monsters and stuff. And especially, I suppose, if you've read any of the Goosebumps books, you know, it's like I did growing up. It's like there's that monster, there's that, you know, so that's a fun element to it. And Jack Black's really good. Jack Black just carries movies on his charisma, I guess, is the thing. They're putting out a sequel this year without him in it. I don't know how that works, but
it's like, yeah, I don't know what the story is there.
Yeah, I don't understand, especially in context of this movie where the reasons the creature escape is because his books, like Jack Black is playing R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
And his books are magical and they open them up and then the monsters escape from them or something. That's how it works in the movie universe. So I'm like, well, if R.L. Stein isn't in the sequel and by the end of this movie, spoilers, they've kind of solved the problem of the monsters never escaping again. They seal them away for good. So I'm like, I don't know how that works, but after watching this one, I'll probably watch it because it was just fun. Especially if you've read the books as a kid, if you're around that age that you read Goosebumps books, it's a fun one to watch, yeah.
Cool. Goon, The Last of the Enforcers. No?
I love the first Goon.
Yeah, the first one's really good.
Yeah.
That's sad.
This one, no. This one, this happens with all comedies. Sequels, they make a sequel like 10 years after the first one or whatever it is, and they're never, any good, I'm afraid. Or 9 times out of 10, they're not any good, and this is not. This is the same. As far as I'm concerned, it is the same.
Yeah, I can't think of any movie that disputes that.
Anchorman 2 wasn't bad.
No, I really
It wasn't
didn't
as good
like
as the
Anchorman
original,
2.
though.
It wasn't as good, but it wasn't terrible, in my opinion.
Well, I'm not saying right. So, Goon 2, it's not terrible,
Okay.
but it is nowhere as good as the first one, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's even a time thing, because I felt like a lot of the jokes in it felt like they were wrote from the time they wrote the first movie, if that makes sense. Like, the jokes just seemed aged badly, kind of thing. And
They were just left on the cutting room floor.
yeah, they're not updated. I don't know. It just felt off. It felt like a movie that was
Is
just
Sean
off.
William Scott still in it?
Yeah, everyone's still in it.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the first movie, all the characters and actors and actresses from the first movie are back. So from that aspect, it's enjoyable, but maybe just watch the first one if you haven't watched it, because the first Goon's really, really fun.
All right. The
Hockey.
one I loved. Or
The
love.
one I loved. I don't even know what that
It's
is.
got...
What is
The
One I
Mumblecore
Love.
director guy.
it? The
Yeah.
what?
Ah,
I don't even remember this. Let me type this in. What is it? The one I...
He had a sickness.
it's got the-
family
Oh, the
entire-
one... Okay, yeah, no, this was good.
yeah.
You said loved. Okay, the one I loved.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah. Mark Duplass.
Mark
Elizabeth
Duplass,
Big
yeah,
difference.
Mumblecore
It's a real
director.
big difference.
Yeah. This is like a Twilight Zone episode, full-length movie. It's got like 3 actors in it, and it's good. It is just weird, off, great. And you can't talk much about it without spoiling it, but it's like these 2 are married, and I like both these people. I think they're both underrated, as far as I'm concerned. Or maybe Elizabeth Moss isn't underrated, but I feel like
Probably not anymore.
Not anymore, but I feel like, well, not after Handmaid's Tale, but
Yeah.
like
And Top
back
Awake,
in Mad Men days, Mad Men days and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
this girl is going to be. I loved her from day one, and I keep getting happy whenever she gets more work. Mark Duplass, however you say it.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of. I love all the Creep movies. They're executive producing all these great docos. Fan. Married couple. They go to Ted Danson. It's not Ted Danson, but it's the actor Ted Danson. Ted Danson's like, look, I'll solve all your marriage problems. Head up
Watch
to this
Cheers.
cabin.
No.
Watch Cheers. I'll solve your marriage problems. Watch. Head up to this cabin up here. I've sent so many people up there. It solves all your marriage problems. They're like, cool, sounds good. They go up there, and then slight spoiler, but this is the premise, and this is like 15, 20 minutes in. When one of them walks into the outdoor like guest house, there's a duplicate of the like husband or wife in there for them. So when the wife walks in, there's a duplicate of the husband, and he's like what she imagines the perfect version of him to be. When the husband walks in, there's a duplicate of the wife in there, and she's like the perfect version. Now, they don't try and keep it a secret. They both walk out of the house and they're like, what the fuck is going on? We should leave. This is crazy. But then, of course, they're like, oh, we kind of like, because they have the perfect versions of their husband and wife in that room. So then they come back to their house and they're like, we'll start taking it in turns, like 12 minutes each, blah, 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 blah. And from the movie, it just, yeah. So it's like a Twilight Zone episode. It's good.
Okay, last one. Batman Ninja. What do you think?
No.
No.
Really?
No. Animation wise, cool. Art style, all that sort of stuff ticks millions of boxes. It follows every anime trope I've ever seen forced into one fucking movie.
Yeah.
It is to a degree, it is amazing how many tropes they can fill and tick. Just when you think they've done all the tropes, you're like, holy fuck, nope.
Wait, does
they're,
he get
they're joining all the
defeated and then
Power
gets-
Ranger fucking arms or whatever you want to call them together and whatever else is going on. It just be like, oh no, they haven't ticked that anime trope. No, they change art style for 15 minutes because fucking why not? Like,
does he get like beat, but then he gets stronger because he's getting beat
Yep.
and all that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's everything. It is everything.
Yeah, it is everything. It's pretty great. It's bonkers.
It is bonkers. I don't know if I could see a lot of people enjoying it for what it is. I don't think it's bad, but I would not watch it again kind of thing. It's like, I've watched it. I was like, cool. That was a thing. I'm done. I don't know if I'm glad it exists, but it does. That's my review of that one.
All right, well, that's what we've been watching, although we have been watching a bunch of trailers coming out of Comic-Con. If you want to hear my opinions on a bunch of them, they're over on explosionnetwork.com. I've done a bunch of wrap-ups, but I thought we'd just cover a couple of the big ones right now.
All the links below.
All the links below in this the show notes, that's the term.
Or the description or whatever.
I'm a good host. What did you guys think of the Aquaman trailer? Coming out this year, directed by James Wan, starring Jason Momoa. I thought it was pretty good.
It was okay.
It picked up after the kiddie stuff, or the stuff with him as a child.
But like, yeah, so they're doing the same thing that they did with Wonder Woman, but with Aquaman, where they're just like,
oh yeah, kind
they're doing the same thing where they're just going back to tell how he got everything and how he got to the point of Justice League.
Well, that was pretty successful. So
that's successful. It gives me hope that they're going to do the same thing for like the Flash.
I don't think they are doing that because
it looks very much like that because this is all before.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Flash starts with his parents being murdered at the start.
From what I gathered from Aquaman, I think some of it takes place before BVS, but I think by the time you get into it, a lot of it's going to take place after.
A lot of the
I think
footage
it is set up afterwards. Yeah, I think it's definitely set after.
Really?
Yeah, because he only meets Mira at the start of the.
He only meets Mira in BVS.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
So all the stuff you see about him getting adopted and like whatever, like his human life, his upbringing,
the Nicole Kidman part, yeah.
Yeah, that's all obviously but then all the stuff where he's walking around with Mira as a buddy as they get to know each other, that's going to be after. Or not BVS, Justice League. That's going to be after Justice League.
Okay. So him, like, coming to the palace for the first time and meeting his brother and stuff, that'll be beforehand?
From what I gathered, because Justice League is a very confusing movie, Aquaman's scene in Justice League, I think, is one of the most confusing scenes in that movie. And this is coming from someone who knows that character. And I'm still sitting there watching that scene going, like, my brain's, like, working around Aquaman history, trying to piece together where they're putting his timeline exactly, as someone who's read a lot of Aquaman comics, and I'm still like, I don't really know. I believe that is the first time he's gone there, or maybe the second time, or maybe he's kind of seen it from a distance and being like, there's home, but I'm not fucking going there. And in Justice League, I think that might be the first time he's actually gone home.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which is a story they've done in the comics, basically, where he only goes there when he's really needs to the first time and meets Mira and everyone else, and then he's, everyone's like, well, you got to be the king, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you don't deserve to be the king, you're a half-blood, you're a muggle, whatever.
I thought he was already the king, is the reason I'm confused, I guess. I thought he was the king. No, he wasn't? No. Okay, fair enough.
Was it just me, or did you guys get Black Panther vibes as well?
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep.
Parallels.
Kind of. Yes, there were.
If you go back and watch our, like, whatever episode where we talked about, like, at the start of the year, I was saying I was hoping that Aquaman could be the Black Panther to the...
But, like, Mirror?
Universe.
But, like, you mean the Mirror? Like, except for the brother not being Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I didn't like the trailer, though. I gotta be honest.
No,
it wasn't great.
I... One up, one down?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was... it doesn't affect my opinion of the movie. I'm still excited for it because I like the director and I like people involved, and I'm someone who's actually a fan of Aquaman, and I've read enough cool stories that I really want the movie to be good, if not just to show all the people that are going to be throwing around stupid fucking Aquaman memes when the movie's releasing in December, like, you talk to fish, blah, 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 blah. I just really want the movie to be good just to prove them wrong. Yeah. I don't think the trailer does that justice, though. And also, Amber Heard's wig was fucking stupid. It was too red.
It looked really bad.
It looked really red. It looked ridiculous red.
But I think that's because it has to be, because underwater it doesn't look as good. It
don't show me
gets
science.
Died out.
Don't show me science.
let's give a shout out also to the fact that Justice League, they had that stupid bubble shit going on when they had to talk, and in this movie they have them just talking underwater.
Like, that was a mistake.
Naturally. Yeah, I don't know. That bubble shit doesn't make any sense to me. Like, there's no
Bloody
way they're like, well,
Zack
we're
Snyder.
paying for all these reshoots and whatever else. We can't afford the time to get this one scene right. So we'll have them talk in bubbles. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking.
It's weird. Also, for a guy who swims underwater, he sure likes to jump from great heights.
It looks cool.
The other big DC trailer, Shazam. What'd you guys think?
It looks fun.
Yeah.
Looks really fun. I hope it's like the Guardians of the Galaxy for DC, if we're doing comparisons. I just hope it's a fun film.
I mean,
I liked it.
yeah.
I thought it was better than Aquaman trailer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for Zachary Levi to be in the part of Shazam, so
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
He's pretty
I'm
great.
going to be interested how deep they go into the lore in the movie, because, like, from what I can tell, it's like they have that hot 2 seconds where they basically make fun of, say my name. What's your name? Shazam. Shazam. Like, he laughs like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know how deep they're going to go into the whole mythical gods
Yes. Yeah.
type stuff of the story, especially because the movie basically looks like a street level kid comedy.
Yeah.
Not very superhero-y. More kick-ass, I suppose, is the...
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
still a bit
comparison.
confused how this movie's happening without Black Adam being a part of it at all, but
Black Adam isn't Captain Marvel's
Main
or
villain.
Shazam's main villain, so it's fine.
I guess. Oh, for me, okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah. I think everybody links the two because they look very similar. Well, they look
Yeah, I
almost
don't know. I
identical.
always link the two quite similarly, so yeah, why not?
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
I think you missed a bigger DC movie, which is Teen Titans Go.
Well,
is
for a
the
start,
biggest
that's a
of the
TV series. I was getting to
No,
it.
the movie
Oh, Teen Titans Go. That
goes
was
to
no-
the movies.
yeah,
They didn't announce that at
Didn't
Comic
they?
Con.
announce
No,
that.
but wasn't there another trailer there?
probably, but I
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Me and Ash
I mean,
talked
it-
about it ages ago.
talk about it ages ago. It's out in America at the moment. It's great.
We're
We're
Apparently,
getting fucked. Yeah.
we are getting right up the butt. No, they're waiting till the next school holiday period in September. So that
Not to
I mean,
mention
it
I get
makes
fucked on
business
Christopher Robin
sense.
this month.
It makes business sense, but we're getting screwed. This is John Wick 2 all over again. Did you guys watch Godzilla King of Monsters? The trailer for that one.
Meh.
It was meh. I was kind of interested, but
Yeah.
by the end of it, I was like, I'm good.
I thought it was good. I just didn't understand what story they're trying to tell.
So apparently the dude from Game of Thrones who Tyrion Lannister or whatever Tywin Lannister,
Charles
that
Dance.
dude, Alex, that he is part of a company. It's basically Ron Perlman's character from Pacific Rim who wants the monsters to fight so he can pick up their body parts and like experiment on them and sell them and shit. I don't know. So maybe he's awakening the monsters for them to fight. I'll give the trailer this. Beautiful imagery.
Yeah.
Lots really cool shots, beautiful special effects. All that's happening. Looks great. But none of that really excites me in the trailer anymore because I'm like, it doesn't matter how cool it. Like, I don't dislike the original Godzilla. Well, by original I mean the one that came out in 2000 and whatever.
Yeah.
Here it was. I don't hate that movie. I know a lot of people that do. I enjoy it for what it is, and my problems with that movie aren't the main problems that everyone else has. Like, people's biggest problems with that movie is they didn't show Godzilla enough. Like, this is a Godzilla movie, and you're gonna have it focus on the humans. That's not my problem. My problem's with other elements. That movie had some beautiful shots too, and once again, the first trailer that dropped for that movie is one of my fucking favorite probably trailers of the last 10 years, I think. That when they dropping out of the helicopter or whatever, and then they drop the flares, and then you just see in the background like Godzilla through the clouds, like his silhouette. Yeah. Oh my god! Still to this day was that. I remember not being excited for that Godzilla movie at all, and seeing that I'm like, yes, I'm fucking down. Give me this movie. And I mean, this trailer's doing the same sort of thing. It's like beautiful imagery. Yeah. But does that mean it's going to be an interesting story? Is it going to be an hour and a half of a 2.5 hour movie of me being like, cool, the monsters are fighting again. It looks cool, but I don't give a fuck about any of these characters or what's going on, so.
Do you want them to focus on the characters? Or do you want to see the monsters fighting?
If I want to just see monsters fight, I'll fucking watch Pokemon,
I mean,
nah, you don't like Pokemon that much.
Yeah. It's got a pretty stellar cast. As long as they have Ken Watanabe say, let them fight before every single time Godzilla fights somebody. I will be very happy.
I'm interested to see how it ends as well, just simply because it'll be setting up the
Godzilla,
law towards the King Kong thing, I suppose, because that's 2020, I think, or whatever it was. Yeah. So, yeah.
Although, if Godzilla beats all these monsters, you got to think he goes into that as the favorite, right?
He is as the odds-on favorite with the bookies. Honestly.
Spoilers: Godzilla wins.
I mean, then he's got what, like 20-something to 0 record. I mean,
this is
how do you top
spoilers.
that?
The movie's called King Kong versus Godzilla. It's out 2 years from now. Spoilers. They're doing another Spider-Man movie. That motherfucker is not dead. Spoilers. No, everyone's seen that movie. Fuck you.
No. So the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Glass, released a trailer.
Yes.
This I have not seen Unbreakable or Split, but I might be checking them out after this.
You what?
I know.
I'm not actually surprised. I don't think many people have seen Unbreakable. I think it's like M. Night's most like underrated movie.
Underrated, but it's his best. He's my favorite, possibly.
It's up there. It's up there. And I mean, when I watched Split years ago, and the big, at this stage now, this is spoilers. They just released a fucking trailer for the Glass, so it doesn't matter.
Ash just spoiled it like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
When I watched Split in the cinemas 2 years ago, whatever that was, and at the end of it, when Bruce Willis showed up, I was in my cinema and I did a jump. I was like, holy shit. Because I straight away knew who that was. And then I heard two people behind me, like a girl or a guy or whatever, one of them like whispered to the other one, and this set my tone straight away. It was one of those, are we supposed to know who that is? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to be happening a lot. And I think Nick told me, or I don't know if Nick or someone else, someone told me something happened similar in their cinema where they heard someone just be like, it's Bruce Willis. Like, but they're like, don't know who the character is, but they're like, it's Bruce Willis. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many people like you are like gonna go watch, what's it called? Unbreakable.
Unbreakable? Split? I think Split for me was more interesting not knowing about the link. I think, but for Ash, yeah. But
there's nothing
Split was an interesting movie before. Like, I kind of was like, I wasn't as hot on like the last 20 minutes of Split. But the rest of that movie, James McAvoy is amazing in that movie. It's really good.
And this trailer was really great. You guys pumped for Glass now?
Yes, especially having having Samuel L. Jackson back, having Bruce Willis in it, having James McAvoy. It's gonna be really good.
Although I need to rewatch Unbreakable because I don't think I've watched it for 5-6 years. And spoilers, I swear Samuel L. Jackson's character died at the end. So I need to go rewatch it to see what happens. But I could have sworn he died by the end of that movie. We'll find out.
All right. So they show the first footage of season 11 or series 11 of Doctor Who with the new female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker. What do you think, Dylan?
Well, I went and watched the episodes that I was behind on.
Yeah.
Because I kind of got burned out on Capaldi, I think. Or maybe the writing or something burned me out. I don't know what it was.
I don't think season 10 was that great.
Yeah. I just...
How long's it been now? Because I burnt out halfway through Matt Smith and I've never gone back.
What?
Yeah, I need to finish. I have not finished Matt Smith's run.
Which how far into Matt Smith's run?
It was the last season of Matt Smith's run.
Okay, so like with Clara.
Yes.
Yeah, with Clara.
Yeah,
You're
with
fucking
Clara.
insane.
So halfway through
I cry my eyes out when that motherfucker leaves. His last couple episodes.
Well, I cried when David Tennant left.
Oh, so did everyone though.
Yeah.
Because David Tennant was amazing.
That's why that GIF gets played everywhere.
Yeah, I don't want to go. And people use that GIF. They have no idea what Doctor Who is, and people use that fucking GIF. Like, that's how played out that GIF is. But yeah, I burned out Peter Capaldi, but for some reason, just because I knew it was coming back soon. I knew that was going to be at Comic-Con. This was before the trailer dropped. When I was sick, I was like, yes, I'll catch up on episodes. Watched it once again. I was like, this episode's not very good. This episode's not very good. But then one of those episodes, probably one of the best of all the seasons, I think. So I maybe I shouldn't have dropped off, but I learnt my lesson there. But it's hit and miss. And then the Christmas special thing was pretty cool, and that got me hyped. And then when he regenerated into 13, Jodie Foster, that was cool.
Whittaker.
That got me. Jodie, sorry, yeah, fucking
Jodie
Whittaker.
Foster. I was a bit confused there for a second. I was like,
I mean, that'd be pretty
Jodie
cool. But
it would be pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So that got me excited. I was really pumped for the trailer because we knew it was coming at Comic-Con. Watched it. Meh.
yep, that was my reaction as well. It's good.
Yep. It doesn't give you any sort of story set up or any of the big monsters coming or anything like that.
are the people in the trailer, are they anybody or are they just random people?
Those are the new companions.
New
They're
companions.
the new companions, they are?
So
Okay.
she's having like 3 companions, I think.
Okay.
3 or 4, something like that.
Going back to the TARDIS being a party bus. I like it.
Yeah. Which I prefer that personally also.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. But the trailer just wasn't like, here's anything. It was just her saying a line, a bunch of couple shots around. I don't know. It was a really crappy trailer to put out when you're already having
It's pretty much completely shot. You should have like some idea of the tone
Something.
or something.
Yeah, and we know Doctor Who's a show where week by, it's a monster of the week show, but there's an overarching story.
Yeah.
There always is an overarching story of some sort. So at least hint at whatever that's going to be, or whoever the big bad villain is going to be. Fucking, who is it? Like, hint at it or
No idea.
something. I don't know.
I think they said, "Oh, we've got a female doctor. We don't have to. That we'll just showcase that, and that's it. That we don't need to do anything else. That's just going to bring viewers in."
I'm
think-
not sold.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. I'm excited. I'm excited because it's someone new behind the show. So
Yeah, it's a new showrunner. No, yeah, showrunner.
Chris Turnbull or whatever.
I'm not sure.
Like that.
He was working on
Broadchurch.
Broadchurch, yes.
Yeah, which Broadchurch, I haven't watched season 3 yet, but the first 2 seasons Broadchurch, great. I don't know how that show makes you good for Doctor Who because it's a very serious drama, but good showrunner nonetheless. And, Stephen, what was his name?
Spielberg.
No. The last showrunner did his time. It's good. Took over from Russell T. Davis. He did his time.
Yep.
And when the switch happened last time, when T. Davis left, and they brought in Stephen, I'm mental blanking on his last name, he took over right when Matt Smith came in. And then that era that he did is very much, you could tell the tone of the show changed
Stephen
a lot.
Moffat.
The type of Moffat, thank you. The type of show it was changed a bit compared to the Russell T. Davis era.
Yep.
And now that he's leaving and we've got this new guy coming in, I'm excited to see after, I don't think it'll happen fast. It probably won't be until the end of this season that you're like, I can kind of get an idea of the type of showrunner that he wants to be on Doctor Who for the next coming years. So it's exciting from that angle, I think, or interesting at least.
Okay. Dylan, tell me, how did you feel when they showed that Clone Wars trailer? Or you saw that
Right,
Clone
so-
Wars trailer?
I wish there was a video camera
Yeah.
on you.
Why
I
did you not-
desperately wanted. I
mean-
desperately wanted.
Run me through the day.
Well, I wake up in the morning. This is when I was still sick, lest we forget.
Yep.
So I woke up and the first thing I did was I opened up Messenger and Shreed sent me a message that simply stated, "You're going to be happy this morning." And I was like, well, I'm sure that's something
That's
to do
an odd
with-
request. She's really
I'm like,
demanding.
I was like, straight away, so I'm like, oh, this has to be something to do with Comic-Con news that's dropped while overnight or, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So get the fuck out of that shit. Open up Twitter. And I'm like, if it's huge news, it should just be, when I click on the little search bar, it brings up, the
Should be a trending thing.
Yeah,
the trending topics. It should be there. So I clicked the little search thing, and there it is. Top number 1 story. Clone Wars is back for another season. And I don't know. I was happy. I was confused. I was happy, really happy. But then something in my brain was like, don't get too excited. Like, is it just an episode? Is it like a mini series? Is it like a 10 episode? Like I started just being like,
Yeah.
is it a 10-minute episode? Let's just, calm our farm. So I just clicked on the link and I watched that trailer. And at the start, it's, a bunch of clone trooper helmets and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Set the tone, whatever. No new footage. Of course, they're not going to show any new footage. They won't really show what it's going to be about because, it's they probably haven't done it yet. And then we get across and we get our boy Anakin. We get our boy Obi-Wan. They're walking through through. Hot diggity damn. I was thinking, this is new footage. This isn't anything that I've seen before. I walk up to a little hot projector up there.
It looks like they've.
It looked a little bit better, but it's still like the same.
Yeah,
looks cleaner.
style, I
It
guess.
was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same animation, but clean.
They walk up, and there's my girl. There she is. Little old soaker. She turns around, and me and everyone in that fucking hole, I went back in time and I cheered with them. Which I'm sure is what was happening.
And I cheered.
You cheered so much that you ended up in that hole. You broke the time-space continuum.
You know what I'm going to do if they don't? Because this is Disney's streaming service, right?
Yeah.
So this is coming to Disney's streaming service. I think they said 12 episodes or something
It's not
like that.
available in Australia.
If it's not
Yeah.
available in Australia, I'm going to kill someone.
Straight
up,
you could move
kill
to
someone.
America.
no, I'm not dumb. We're gonna be hacking some VPNs and also
Get some VPNs. Wow.
we're gonna have something happening. You know, we're gonna figure something out.
Yeah. So the last trailer I want to bring up was Titans. Do you guys watch this?
Oh, that was a car accident.
Fuck Batman.
Followed by a train wreck. Followed by an airplane crashing. It was all bad.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Oh,
I mean, but Robin looked cool when he was fighting. And it looks like dark as anything. I mean, I think I said in my review, it looks more dark and violent than any of the Greg Valenti shows.
Did you
which is
get
saying
that-
something where the first season of Arrow was basically had him killing everybody
killed-
left, right, and center.
Yeah, he killed everyone. Yeah.
Did you get the dark feeling by him saying "fuck Batman"?
No, I looked at the lighting. It looks very dark.
Oh, it looks very dark, does it? God, I hate Starfire's design. She is actually, I find her more cringier than Beast Boy.
Yeah.
I just don't. No, I can't. Raven and
Yeah. Well, we'll see. They only showed like slow motion footage. We'll see. Do
Uh,
a bit more.
We said this from day one when we was talking about set photos or whatever was out there a couple months ago. The costumes are bad.
Yeah.
And they look bad in this.
Yep.
And at the time we were like, hey, calm down, Dylan. You know, maybe the costumes only look bad from that angle on the set photo you've got. I think that's what you told me, Ash. You
Yep.
said, calm down. You said something along those lines. And all I got to say is you're wrong. They're
Beast
bad.
Boy's green hair looks
mean-
like they went to a $2 shop and got a green wig.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'd be very expensive to make him green all the time. And this is like a streaming service. Which, rolling into more Comic-Con news, they finally announced the pricing for the DC Universe streaming service, which is only available in America, which is making every international DC fan very upset. It is $74.99 per year, or you can pay $7.99 a month. Where does that fit on your scale? Is that a bit
So
too much?
$7.99 US
Yep.
is $14 ish.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
If that's base, if that's base streaming, I don't know, that's expensive.
I mean, you can pay $75, which would be $150 for a year. So it's what? I think that works out. Yeah, like $10 a month or something like that. I mean,
Look, if you're going to be using it a lot to read the comics,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. If you're
it
using
gonna be
every
like-
single aspect of it every
Yeah,
single
yeah.
month, then that makes sense. Otherwise, when something drops or when it, I don't know what release schedule they're going to have, whether it's all dropping on one day or it's going to be
It's just
a
going to
weekly.
be like the WWE network, you know? You just sign up
Yeah.
for the free month when something good happens, and then you
Yeah, when WrestleMania is around, you sign up for a month, then
sign up for a
cancel,
month for
yeah.
free.
Yeah.
And then when you want to do it again, you use a different email address. I mean, what?
or a different banking card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but they also did announce that
You
Jeff
got it.
Johns. They also announced that Jeff Johns is working on a Stargirl series for the streaming service. Does that interest either of you? Do you know who Stargirl is?
A little bit, but not much. Isn't it something to do with Jeff Johns?
Yeah,
pretty
so
heavily?
he created Stargirl. I'm pretty sure it was one of his first things he did for DC, and then he put her into Justice Society of America, which he did a long run of. So he's been pushing the GSA for a while. So, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a lot not as dark as Teen Titans. It's going to be more PG. So, I mean,
Hasn't she been in like Smallville?
yeah, she's been in
and-
Smallville and in the DC
of
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
But this is going to be another iteration of that. But yeah, I'm keen to find out what happens with this, whether it's going to be successful or not. It's going to be, if Titans is the first thing you're going to be selling it on off that first trailer, it's going to be a hard sell, I think. So,
Fuck Batman.
and I might as well get all the DC news out of the way first up. They also announced all the DC animated films they're going to be releasing next year. First up is going to be the second part of the adaptation of the Death as Superman series, which will be The Reign of the Supermen, which are focusing on Steel, Cyborg, Superman, and Connor Kent. I mean,
Here's my problem, right?
Yeah.
Quick side note on this. That movie's about to come out or out now.
Yeah.
Or like you can buy it but not rent it probably. That stage. I'll probably watch it, maybe chuck it on as an animated thing. They've done the story once before though, which is
I'm hearing good things because they've made changes to it this time.
Yeah, they did make changes.
Yeah.
And they've taken some changes to the story. They've taken some liberty with the Doomsday fight and everything and changed how that goes based off the trailer. But I'm still like, I've seen this. I've seen it before. I don't particularly like. There's so many other things you could have done, and as the
no, they had to do this so they could do Reign of the Superman.
It's fine. Just do Reign of the Superman if you want.
I guess you could.
You could.
But you can't just do Reign of the Superman by itself. You have to lead into it.
Yeah, I know. You need to kill Superman first.
You can buy the fucking comics. The comics are separate. The Death of the Superman comic starts after he's already fucking dead.
Well, this is a different series. Dylan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what
It's
you're on
animated
about,
differently.
Talk about that one. That one was good.
Next one up, they've got... next one will be Justice League versus the Fatal Five, which are Legion of the Superheroes villains. So, are they going to be set in the future? Are they going to meet the Legion? I don't know. Or are they coming from the future to the past? I don't know.
We will find out.
We'll
on
find
the
out
next episode.
in autumn 2019. Then they're doing Batman Hush.
Yes,
adapting
this is the one we want.
This is the good one.
Yeah, so I think everybody is pretty excited about this one. It's a beloved story. Yeah.
I hope
Seeing
they do it
Hush
right.
Hush for the first time. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays in a post Red Hood world as well.
Well, here's
'Cause
the
that
thing.
was-
I don't think Hush is well known enough that for people, I don't know which of you know the twist or whatever from Hush, but I don't think Hush is a well known enough general comic story or villain that the people watching the movie aren't going to have like a cool twist come at the end, you know?
Yeah.
Like most people go into, you can't do a Red Hood movie these days because everyone knows fucking the Red Hood
Jason
twist.
Dodd.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't work. I think Hush is a bit
Well,
different.
technically they did. They already did the Under the Red Hood film, so which is great.
Yeah, and then they did Arkham Knight. Spoilers.
Yeah. And they're also doing a fourth movie next year, which will be Wonder Woman Bloodlines, original Wonder Woman animated film. The first one they've done since 2009.
And that 2009 one was really good, so
Yeah.
I'm down for this.
Awesome. So moving into a different kind of geeky story, which is a bit more depressing. James Gunn. He's been removed from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Volume 3. For jokes he had on his Twitter back in 2000 something. How do we all initially feel about that? Ciaran?
I'm gonna put out there first. Well, the jokes aren't funny. Like the jokes are really bad. That's not.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was going for, but I felt it was a bit brash of Disney to fire him straight off of something that was 10 years ago and was just
And something they knew about.
they knew about 10 years ago. It was something before Guardians. He'd already apologized it before Guardians even started. And it's just been something brought up by, the mob once again.
Yep. Dylan?
Why are you giving me a look? You think I'm going to be against
I don't
it?
know.
No.
My guess is as good as yours, Ciaran. How's he going to react?
I don't know, and he leaned back when this topic came up. I felt him cracking his knuckles. Brace yourself, people.
I think it's stupid. I don't think he should have been. I don't think it should have been fine. And I see these people online being like, well, how's it different? If someone raped someone 10 years ago and you just find out about it, it's like, what's that? That's not the fucking same at all, you fucking idiot. Well, all these people that are getting, they sexually assaulted someone like 5 years ago and it's only coming up now. Like, why is it? It's like, it's not even closely the same.
For a start, he didn't actually sexually assault anybody.
Look, if he had said these jokes today, I can understand.
Yes, yeah. Be outraged, people.
I can completely understand.
The internet was, not that it defends it, but the internet was a very different place 10 years ago. People did weirder and dumb because they didn't care. They didn't have to worry about the stuff that we've got happening today.
Yeah.
They didn't have the
gotcha outrage,
the culture and the outrage around it. They didn't have that. And the fact that now the outrage culture that we do have now is now stretching back to 10 years ago is fucking crazy.
The thing that annoys me the most about this story is it takes away from when people should be called out for shit they did 10 years ago, and rightfully so. Because now everyone's being like, well, because there's people calling for him to be reinstated or whatever, which I don't think will actually happen, even after today where...
the cast came out and put a message in support of James Gunn.
Signed it.
Signed it, yeah.
Even after that, I still don't think they're going to put him back, because I think they will just... By whiplashing backwards and forwards like that, they'll just be seen to give in to the mob either way.
It's too much of a PR problem now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think they just have to wait it out until it goes away. And I think they've
it's
dug themselves
too long
a hole.
They can't sit on Guardians 3 till that blows over.
Yeah. But yeah, it just annoys me from the aspect of all these people being like, I just don't like it at all. It's silly. It takes away from when people should be getting called out for stuff they've actually done wrong years ago. And it also takes away when you've got other cases like, what the fuck is that woman's name?
Roseanne.
It takes away from the stuff with like Roseanne, people being like, what's the difference between this and Roseanne? Hers was a joke too. It's like, well, hers was a racist joke and it was
last week.
This month. Yeah, like it was yesterday. It's like, well, he's a pedophile. He was shelling. I saw a tweet thread today where someone was like, why are you so, it was in one of the responses to like Karen Gillan or, someone on Twitter, one of their Twitters. I was like looking for the responses and someone's like, why are you supporting someone who supports pedophilia? And someone responded was like, he doesn't support pedophilia. It's like, well, he shared a link to pedophilia. And then this, because James Gunn must have apparently sent a tweet. One of those tweets he got in trouble for was like, here's a link to me playing with some kids or something. And it linked to like a children's choir or something. Like there was some, one of his shitty jokes.
Yeah.
But this is like, someone saw that was like, that link's definitely actually child porn, and it's not a YouTube link. It's a YouTube link, so it's definitely child porn. He's definitely sharing child porn. That's
on
must
YouTube.
Be what's happening.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So now
on
all
YouTube.
These people are circulating, being like, James Gunn's a pedophile. James Gunn's a pedophile. I see this around all day now. I'm like, last year, all I had to hear for so long was all these fucking right-wing extremists being like, I'm not racist, it was only a joke. And now that the case is being flipped, these people are like, he's a pedophile because he shared pedophile jokes.
It's crazy.
Like,
it's not even
it doesn't work like that.
It's not even like it's something that he tried to hide or something that was hidden from the public. It's something that was out there and people had already known about. He'd already publicly apologized.
The other thing that annoys me too is he could have deleted these, and my thought process as to why he left them up, given that he's talked about them publicly before several times and being like, I'm sorry, like shock humor. I wouldn't say that today. I'm a different person. This was, years and years ago. The only reason I can find logically for why you leave those tweets up is as a show of, look, they're there. I've talked about them. I apologize. I'm going to leave them up just as an example of how I've changed kind of thing. That's the only reason I feel like he could leave those up.
I get that feeling that it's like, it might be viewed as you're trying to hide your past if you all of a sudden delete stuff. Like, he's just like, yeah, it's there.
Did you see what Ryan Johnson did?
No.
Did you see that, Ash?
No, I don't think so.
Ryan Johnson tweeted 20,000 tweets. Everyone freaked the fuck out and was like, what is Ryan Johnson hiding? And everyone was tweeting at him. And then he just sent out a tweet and was like, I ain't really got anything to hide, but at the same time, I just don't trust anyone anymore. Like,
Yeah,
he's
that's
like,
fair.
he just was straight up like, you can try and like do some, because you can still find the tweets somehow if you really wanted to. You know, you can hack internet history, trick it to be different, whatever people do. He's like, you can do that if you want, but he's like, just so it's easier for everyone, I'm deleting half these fucking 20,000 tweets he deleted.
Yeah. And look, the thing for me is that I have it's good respect and it's a good sign. I was glad when I started to see the cast members of Guardians showing that they weren't okay with it. Like Dave Bautista's was one of the first tweets I saw about it, where he was like, "Well, this is not on. This is not."
He is not happy at all. He's the most vocal out.
He is easily the most vocal and the most angry about the situation for it.
Yeah,
and it's really, you know, it's very easy for actors like these, like actors, to go, well, I need to protect my career here.
Yeah, I need to look after myself. Yeah,
I'm going to look after myself. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to stay back and keep, you know, a low profile. So I'm not connected to this. Where they've all come out and in his defense, which I think is really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do we think will be doing Volume 3 if James Gunn doesn't come back?
Some unknown director.
The name I've seen chucked around is Taika Waititi.
It is, but
yeah, I'd love to see it.
I'd like to see it, but I don't see it happening.
Okay, yeah,
I don't see it happening because he's just done he's just done Ragnarok. Like, I don't see him getting Guardians with it.
Well, to be fair, if you go look at the history of most, like before he did Ragnarok, he'd done a bunch of small time New Zealand movies. Yeah. So like it's not like he had much experience before that. The guy who directed Rogue One before that had done like one indie movie and then like here's a Star Wars movie. Like, so I don't know. If he does it, that's not going to super excite me because as a fan of him and his own movies, we know how I feel about Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wasn't a big fan of Volume 2 either. Yeah. So as much as I'd still like to see James Gunn on Volume 3, there's part of me that's just like, I didn't like Volume 2. So maybe a new director is actually is the blessing in disguise of this. Even though didn't want him to get fired for these reasons, but, you know, maybe. So there's no particular directors I would have in mind. But people were freaking out because Kevin Smith tweeted that thing the other day too about how he was working on a project. And then he was like, it's not a fucking comic book thing. So,
all right. In other big franchise Disney movies news, they announced the cast list for episode 9. And Carrie Fisher is going to be in the movie. I feel like this is a mistake.
She's going to be a Force ghost, right?
No. It's all... So they've said it's all going to be unused footage from episode 7, which straight away to me goes, it's flashback only.
Yeah.
They didn't say because it's the way they worded it. It just says it's all going to be old footage. They didn't say using special technology from unused footage. We're going to make it like Paul Walker it into the new section. Blah blah blah. So with them just being like it's old footage we didn't use, I'm just thinking 10 minutes tops flashback.
Well, apparently they cut a big scene of her going to that whatever city blew up in episode 7, trying to get aid or whatever. I mean, it could be that
where she goes there and is like, because in the story the Republic wasn't willing to help with the First Order, and like her resistance is kind of like a secret under the radar. The resistance doesn't actually exist. It's not part of that official army, and so. But then after what she finds out about the First Order, she goes there and is like, you need to actually give us help now. Because they're coming. We know they're coming. We've got like Poe seen their huge ship, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then they were like, nah, fuck off, Leia. And then, you know, hot minute later, planet blew the fuck up. So, yeah, so they could have a flashback to that, especially if any of the new characters, they could have a character in that scene. Like, I don't know, Kerry Russell or whoever else you want to say. But I'm saying it's like 10 minutes or something like that. And then...
Fair enough.
And I still think you can go with what I said originally with the opening crawl being like, 5 years later, General Leia Organa passed away, blah, blah, blah. Now General Poe Dameron leads blah, 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 blah. I still think you can do that and have a flashback sequence. Star Wars hasn't done flashback sequences before, but
Yeah.
there's a first for everything.
Well, I guess technically with the going back with a young Kylo or Ben and
Oh, yeah, that's true. Flashback. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's like a vision thing, I suppose.
so they also did announce that Naomi Ackie and Richard E. Grant will be joining the cast for this film. What do you guys think? Is she going to be playing
Don't do it.
Finn's cousin? Is twin sister separated at birth? Finn's clone? Finn's daughter?
Stop.
What? Why are you doing these things? I'm
Because everybody's connected.
No.
Everybody's related to everybody.
No, only the black characters are all related to everybody.
That's not true. Ray might still be
because
Obi-Wan's
fucking
daughter.
Lando's back in this
Yeah.
one. Everyone's like, it's Lando's daughter. Has to be.
Yeah.
Look, when
Yep.
Finn was announced, we thought Finn was going to be Lando's son
Son.
or something like that, but we was wrong. This time,
I
guys,
mean,
we
technically,
got it right.
it still could be.
Fuck off.
What about Richard E. Grant? Who do we think he's going to play?
The Doctor.
The Doctor. Okay, cool.
People were saying it's going to be Thrawn. Did you see it? Because people were like lining up all these images saying they're going to bring in Thrawn from the books, comics,
Okay.
Rebels, and all this sort of stuff. I don't see that being
No,
a thing
I don't
at
see
all.
them randomly doing it in
In
the
this of
last
all things.
episode of the trilogy.
No, I would say they're both. One of them is, one of them's going to be the Benicio del Toro character of this movie, probably Richard E. Grant.
He's
And
going
the
to be
other
in the
one's-
first. He's going to be a bad guy. He's got a bad guy
Yeah.
face.
Well, he's going to, the Benicio.
He's
del
got a
Toro.
bad guy face.
He's usually a bad guy, so he's going to be in
Yeah.
it for like 15 minutes, whatever. He's like the bad guy dude or whatever in this one, and then the other one is some new character that's like the Rose of this movie. I don't know, for example, I guess.
But we've already got a Rose in this movie as well.
Yeah, it's alright.
Okay.
But now we have a new Rose.
Wait, if
Competing
we have
roses.
a rose, we need a thorn.
Oh, terrible. So Disney have confirmed that they are definitely buying 21st Century Fox in a historic $71.3 billion deal.
Isn't there was like one member of the Disney board that was like, we're paying too much for this shit.
I mean, it's. Are you excited? I mean,
I'm not excited for Murdoch having that much money.
he was going to have money anyway, so I mean, a
That's
little bit
either
more
way.
is not going to make any
It's a
difference.
weird deal
There's
to
a
get
point
excited
where-
about.
There's a certain point where you've got so much money that getting more money doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There comes to a point where it's like, okay, you've got lots. Cool.
Yeah. So of course, all the Marvel properties will be going back to Disney. X-Men, Deadpool, Fantastic Four is what most of the nerd community is happy about, or not happy about, depending on your take. There were rumors going around that Dark Phoenix and New Mutants were getting canned, so they could have a clean slate.
Well, was there another trailer release for No, it was just the news that they were doing reshoots for New Mutants, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, cool.
They announced the reshoots ages ago, but they pushed it before then because
They pushed
moved
it like
X-Men.
a year.
Yeah, they moved X-Men Dark Phoenix, so then I was like, well, we'll move New Mutants. And then they moved New Mutants, so then they were like, hey, since we've moved it, you've got more time for the movie, do you want to do some reshoots? And the director was apparently like, sure, might as well, I guess. So,
I mean, do you think they should come out? I mean, they've already been shot pretty much. They're just finishing up visual effects and that.
I'm down for New Mutants. I give zero fucks about Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix, I'm annoyed that they're already doing Dark Phoenix. They've only just set up this gene, and they're already doing Dark Phoenix. It's like, come on, fucking
Kids these days.
just
They age
stop
so
fucking
fast.
rushing.
I
into their
think they're
evil
just
forms.
desperate to redo that story, like do it properly.
Yeah,
I
but let
think-
Marvel do it in like a couple years' time. Let Marvel do
No,
it.
it was just interesting. They did a on the Hollywood Reporter just did another roundtable with genre people, like filmmakers. They had Simon Kinberg, who did Last Stand, and he said the biggest mistake they made was they didn't think that the Dark Phoenix story would like hold the story, so they made it the B plot of the film.
Yeah, no, Dark Phoenix story was the important bit.
Yeah, so he's so desperate to make up for that mistake that they're rushing into it.
Not enough Vinnie Jones in this new one for my taking.
Not enough Juggernaut. Well, they've got a new Juggernaut. I don't know.
Yeah, he's the new Juggernaut's no Vinnie Jones. That's the problem.
That's true. Oh, man. So there are a bunch of other properties that I didn't realize that they'd be getting as part of this. For a start, they're getting The Simpsons. So you got like 500, 600 episodes of content right there. Along with your slightly racist characters. They're also getting Avatar. So all the upcoming James Cameron movies will be Disney films, technically.
Mm-hmm. Unless they can resell any of these properties.
Yeah, of course. They're also getting Family Guy, American Dad, King of the Hill, and Bob's Burgers. All these animated TV shows. Alien and Predator will be a Disney property.
Yep.
X-Files, American Horror Story, and Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Xenomorph, a Disney princess.
They also technically have Splash, Pretty Woman, Enemy of the State, Con Air, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, Signs. They also get Blue Sky Studios, so the guys behind Ice Age and Rio. So that's a big get for probably their streaming services. That might be why they're shutting down the Disney Toon Studios, which we talked about a couple episodes. I mean, if you're getting a studio like that, why do you need a smaller one like that? And they're also getting a Planet of the Apes property. But I think that's that series has probably run its course at the moment. For the time being, yeah. And they're also getting Fox Searchlight, which hopefully they keep running the way it is running. I think that was movies. That was a bit of concern earlier in the year. I think the producer for Shape of Water begged Bob Iger to leave it alone, let it do its thing. So yeah. Will it be good for the movie industry? Do you guys... I mean, I think they're predicting that now Disney will have a 40% share of all box office.
I don't think it's good for them to have all these properties. Yeah. Best case scenario is they keep the Marvel properties and they sell off some other ones to other places.
I can see them doing that.
Too many eggs in one basket is just not good. I don't think so.
I don't know. I think it could leave room for innovation and for smaller things to pop up. I mean, in the last couple of years, we've seen Blumhouse and A24 bloom.
Yeah, well, crazy. I'd say they're two of my favorite studios at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing. Yeah,
it's interesting.
Especially back in the day, 90s you can look at and be like Miramax and all these other things. Yeah. It's like the 2000 whatever 10s or whatever. It's like A24 Blumhouse kind of.
Yeah. So that merger will go through sometime early next year, I'm pretty sure. So
yep.
We're just going to keep speculating about it till it happens. So earlier this week or last week, it was reported that Mowgli is coming to Netflix, as reported on explosionnetwork.com. So the Andy Serkis Jungle Book adaptation was being made by going to be released by Warner Brothers, but they've dropped it and they're releasing it on Netflix, which seems to be the trend. I get the impression it wasn't very good, and that's why. I think
that's the problem.
Or they didn't think it was going to perform is probably...
Yeah, I think there's a difference. Everyone keeps being like, this is obviously a sign that the movie's shit. I don't think it's a sign that the movie's shit. I think it's a sign that Warner Brothers did the smart move, which is knowing that the movie going to the box office, going to cinemas, will simply underperform, especially since everyone's just had such a great reaction to the Disney movie. And I think that movies like this, when you just know they're going to underperform, getting them to a streaming service is the right decision for movies like this, especially if you want them to.
Well, I think everybody's saying it's bad because the only other two examples from this year that are prevalent is
Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah, a Cloverfield Paradox and Annihilation, which is they've both gone. One's good, one's not good.
Yeah.
That's literally complete opposite cases.
Yeah.
Like of the spectrum, like on my account, like Love Annihilation.
Yeah.
Would have loved to have seen that in the cinema.
Yeah.
Actually, and Cloverfield was utter turd. So, I think if that's the two cases, there's no reason for this to be like. It could be in the middle of those two. It could be anywhere around it. But I mean, when we did a reacts for it and we watched the trailer, and I can't remember what our ratings were, but it was kind of like maybe
it's not as good as
like,
Jungle Book.
Yeah, it was like it's probably like a 1 up, 1 down or something.
Yeah.
From memory or something or like that. So, and I think with it coming to Netflix, that increases my chance of watching it personally, and I think that increases so many other people's chances of watching it, because instead of being like, I don't want to leave the fucking house to watch this movie that looks meh to me, you're like, Mowgli's out, not doing anything tonight, watch it, done, got him. So, it's still going to the cinema for some point too, for a 3D version. So, because apparently Andy Serkis had been working hard on a 3D version, so I think part of the deal was it had to have some sort of
I guess
cinema release.
Cinema release, yeah. Maybe they get some visual effects Oscar nominations. Got to qualify for that.
You got to qualify, yeah.
Yeah. So they announced the cast for Elizabeth Banks' Charlie's Angels. The new Charlie's Angels will be Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, and Ella Balinska. How do we feel about Charlie's Angels?
I have no opinions any
this
way.
is just going to crash and burn, right? Like,
I don't care.
I don't know.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
I mean,
the thing is, like, the TV show so many years ago, and then I think for our generation,
that 2000 movie,
it's the 2000s movies, and like that was ages ago. Obviously, like it's been a while since those as well.
18 years, some would say.
Yeah, 18 years, some would say. Yeah, that's true. And I think it's been long enough since those to the point that the show could come out, and there's going to be a generation of people now who haven't seen the movies, haven't heard of the TV show,
didn't see the very short-lived TV show that was on.
Oh, that's right. There was a short. Yeah. So I think this could actually come out and be a success for a certain demographic or audience, depending on what they target it towards. I don't know if they're going to target it at teenagers or it's definitely, come on, it has to be targeted at teenagers, right?
Yes, yeah.
If they target at teenagers, then I could see it potentially doing well, because Kristen Stewart has a level of pull from both younger people and. Like, she's respected as an actress now.
She is now, yeah. She's revitalized her career, I think.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how well it does. I personally am like, Charlie's Angels is a nothing property to me. I don't really care, so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm keen. I'd be interested to find out how this goes. Has Elizabeth Banks directed... Oh, she directed Pitch Perfect.
She directed
3,
one of the Pitch Perfects, I think.
Or
Pitch
2,
Perfect 3,
one or the other.
Something else. Yeah.
Yeah. So, a little bit different, but yeah. Charlie's Angels. So they announced during Comic-Con they are rebooting Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Do you guys have any affection for Buffy?
Yes. And I don't like this news, and I think this is a cop-out. I saw one tweet that was like, need more black women heroes. Well, let's just turn a white one black. Like, and that's the...
Yeah, that's kind of the thing...
I've seen that as the going criticism of it, which I would kind of agree with. I don't think it's... Because it's Joss Whedon, again, right? Which everyone's like, it's Joss Whedon doing it. But Joss Whedon's kind of proven himself to be a bit of a...
I think he's very hands-off this, I think, from what I've read. I don't know how involved he actually is. Because he's got his own TV show called The Nevers that he's doing over at HBO. So the showrunner is going to be... Monica Oswin-Breen, who did Midnight Texas, which is like a Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, Midnight Texas. I think that was a True Blood.
Yeah, it's like from the same author as who did True Blood on NBC. He did one season. It's still going. She only did the one season though. Obviously to do this Buffy reboot. But yeah, she's apparently they want to have a black lead. Why call it Buffy the Vampire Slayer then? I guess
just make it something else.
I think you can. As long as they don't call her Buffy, I'll be happy. I'll be okay with it. I think
it'll be Buffy.
They keep taking these, for example, Asian roles and giving them to Scarlett Johansson, and then they take the white roles and they just turn them into other characters. Then Hollywood still hasn't got a grip on what people want. They're like, oh, but I thought you wanted more roles for non-white people. They're like, yeah. But like, not your leftover ones. Like, Like we want our own.
But Human Torch turned out so well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Remember that, yeah.
Okay.
I don't care for this. Don't care for this at all.
Not amused, Ashley. Move on.
Okay.
Move along.
So apparently, Ryan Reynolds is attached to a Home Alone I don't know what the correct term is, but Home Alone riff called Stoned Alone. Stoned Alone is reminiscent of that hallowed comedy classic. It centers around a 20-something, weed-growing loser who misses the plane for his holiday ski trip. He makes the best of things by getting high. Paranoia sets in, and he believes he hears someone break into his house. Turns out thieves have broken in. Fully stoned and fueled by paranoia, he tries to thwart the thieves and defend his castle.
Directed by Kevin Smith. I'll watch it.
It is not getting directed by Kevin Smith.
There's one thing that could make this perfect.
Yeah.
If they got Macaulay Culkin to be
one of the burglars.
To either be one of the burglars or be the lead. Either way, I'd be so happy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about this.
It's gonna be hot trash, right? It's gonna be good, but it's gonna be terrible.
Would you watch this movie if it wasn't being connected to Home Alone?
It depends. I'd have to see a trailer. I'd have to see what actors are in it.
Well, Ryan Reynolds is the one being... It's not confirmed. He is producing and...
He can't be the main person.
Sure he could.
He's not 20. He's, like, visibly old.
20-something.
Oh, God.
Anybody can be 20-something.
I'll wait for a trailer. It could be fun. It could be terrible. I'll wait for a trailer.
Yeah, all right. But then, the most important news of the week, coming out of the TCA Summer Press Tour, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is dropping October 26th.
All at once,
All at once, as confirmed by a Twitter account.
A Twitter account?
It is getting, see what's next, the official Netflix Twitter account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, it is getting the Stranger Things slot from last year. So, it looks like they're putting the big push behind this.
Which was the other piece of news, is that Stranger Things
is getting pushed.
Stranger Things is getting pushed, which I think is good because that's another thing. I went back and watched those last 2 episodes I hadn't watched of season 2, by the way. Finished up that season. My opinions are season 2 was nowhere near as good as the first season, and they rushed it out too fast. So as soon as I heard that they were pushing Stranger Things 3 to spend more time, I was like, yes, thank you, please do that. And then they're like, Sabrina's taking its spot, and I was like, yay! So I read at some point within the last week, I read the first volume of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina comic as well. Yeah. Which is, because I never knew. So the dude who runs Riverdale and runs Sabrina, whose name I'm forgetting.
Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa.
That's probably why I didn't remember it, let's be honest.
Roberto.
He is the CCO of Archie Comics. Yeah. I did not know until the other day. Yeah. And he got made the CCO after he did the Archie Afterlife comic. Yeah. And then after that...
Afterlife with Archie, I think it's called.
Yeah. Afterlife with Archie, yeah. So he did that, and then he pitched this Sabrina one, and then they were like, fuck it, you're in charge of all Archie comics. I was like, sweet, that sounds good. So then he he starts up the Riverdale TV show. This dude's a genius. I'm sold. Like, they're like, be in charge of the Archie comics. And then he was there when they redid the Archie comic, which is going now, which is more cartoony, fun variant. And then at the same time, the CW Netflix Riverdale show, which is the complete fucking opposite of the revamped comic. And then he did the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina comic, which has 8 issues so far. So you can read one volume, and he wrote that comic. So this is what the TV series is going to be based on as well. But there's 1 volume, and there's only 3 more issues after that, and there's only been 3 issues released in the last year. I don't know why, but I'm going to assume it's because it's
pretty
been
busy.
written by the fucking guy who's in charge of all the... It's just like, are you a little bit too busy to be writing a monthly comic? Maybe? I don't know. Like, but at this stage, I'm like, are they just going to cancel? Be like, yeah, that comic's cancelled. We got the TV show. That's where I'm putting all my efforts now. Like, fuck that thing. So, but reading the comic, I'm hoping some of I can see in the cast list when I was really looking at the cast list for the show, that I can put names to faces now for some of the characters and like who the bad guy is going to be and this sort of stuff. And the bad guy is the who played Missy from Doctor
Michelle
Who.
Gomez.
Michelle Gomez, yeah, she's going to be the bad guy, and I can pitch that all. Having read the comic now, it all makes perfect sense for who her character is going to be. So yeah, I'm excited. October can't come soon enough, and it's going to be a good old time.
Yep.
If it's as dark as the comic, it's going to be darker than Riverdale. So
it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, Ciaran, I've got an important question for you.
Yeah.
What did we end up watching this week?
Mary and the Witch Flower.
Dylan, what did we end up watching this week?
Mary and the Witch's Flower.
Damn it! It was plural.
I found it in the woods.
The witch's flower. They only bloom once every 7 years. They say witches used to seek it out.
What is going on? Tonight, I really am a witch.
Mary and the Witch Flower.
Yeah, I just thought it was one. The witch's flower. It's ownership. I didn't want to have the witch to have ownership of the flower, let's be honest.
But it was her flower.
No.
Well,
No.
kind of.
No.
Yeah, this is the 2017 Japanese animated fantasy film directed by Hiromasa Yonibashi.
You can do it.
Yonibashi, based on the Little Broomstick written by Mary Stewart, which I thought was a bit... That's a bit interesting.
Yeah, I looked up the book after I watched the movie. Book looks interesting. I think the book looks more interesting than what the movie ended up being.
Yeah, but for a Japanese place to adapt
Base American.
An English book?
yeah, that's a bit... I haven't seen that very often.
No.
Animated by Studio Ponic as well.
First
It's
movie.
Ghibli, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is their first movie, and it's
Yes.
a bunch of ex-studio
Yeah.
people. So.
Yeah. Dylan, you picked this movie this week. Why, and what'd you think of it?
Why? Because I knew of it and I wanted to watch it because it's the new studio from ex-studio Ghibli people. So
Yeah.
I think that's the reason most people watched it, I guess.
Yeah.
I think my Pontinent Nick's mini review. It looks beautiful. It definitely has that Studio Ghibli-esque animation, colors, everything going on. Visually, it has a lot more going for it than it does plot and story-wise, I think. I would love to read the book now just to see what stuff they've changed, because I think when they've changed some stuff, some plot elements from what I did with a quick look up of the book to see what they changed, I think they changed stuff for the worse, because they just, I don't know, the script is just not all there. It looks a lot better than it is behind the scenes, is what I would say.
Yeah. For me, it just felt like the pacing was off all over the place.
Yeah, the pacing just didn't feel right the entire movie.
They took long periods of time setting it up, and then they just rushed like the rest of the movie.
Yeah. All right. Full spoilers for Mary and the Witch now. Thank you for joining us. ExplosionNetwork.com. Bye. See, when I'm on the show, I like to do the spoiler warning. When I'm not on the show, they like to chuck out spoilers 4 minutes into the show. But thank you for joining us. Bye. When they get to the school, I was like, yes, this is going to be great. I was getting excited because
This is some Harry Potter shit.
Yeah,
Yes!
Anime Harry
That's what
Potter.
I was hoping for.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I was like, next half an hour, we're going to get like some, she's going to spend some time here, go to some classes. I was like, wait to see what's happening.
It's going to be a fun story where she's trying to trick them into thinking she's the real witch.
Yeah, something like that. But then it's just like rush through, blah, blah, blah. She leaves, stuff. It's like, from that point, it was just kind of downhill. I think that the first, up until that point, the movie was a lot stronger. The build up to the school was a lot stronger. And then once we got to the school, that is where it kind of just goes to, well, not to shit, because I don't think it's a shit movie. I think it's just
problems.
It's a whatever. It's it's worth watching for some parts. It's not worth it for other parts. The Doctor character, I did not like. What's the fucking Jim Cummings? No, Jim Broadbent. I did not like Jim Broadbent as that character.
Oh, by the way, I assume we all watched the dubbed version, not the
Yes.
the sub version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for clarification.
The little boy,
Peter.
the little boy, Peter. That character and that whole thing was just weird. Like, it's like, here's this character that she met for 5 seconds, and then about halfway or a bit over halfway into the movie, she's chucked in the cell with him. And because they have like no chemistry or history together, it's like, just fuck off, dude. Like, I don't really know you. I didn't like you when I first met you. Am I supposed to care?
Well, she felt guilty that it's her fault that he was in that cell to start off with.
I understood that, but I feel like that element of the movie would have worked so much better if
It feels
before
like
then they had
skipped
history.
something. It
something,
feels like
yeah.
they'd skipped something with their character relationship. Like there should have been another couple scenes or something before this of them interacting or talking more.
Yes, something like that to get a bit more history to them. So when I looked up the differences between the book, I found out that the reason that she goes back to the school to save someone in the book is because the cat's there. She goes back to rescue the cat. Now, if they'd done that
is
a
a more compelling reason to go back and save somebody.
Well, I feel like changing it doesn't work because, like, if they kept it the same, you had history of the cats. You know, they'd been in
Maybe
it, but-
some people don't like cats, and that's...
Well,
I mean-
considering the whole movie's basically a fucking animals' rights activism. Like,
yeah, kind of.
basically is.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it is pretty much a advertisement against, like, testing on animals.
Testing on animals, yes. That's all I got from the movie. It's like, testing on animals is bad.
And they will kill you.
They will kill you if you do it. And the witches... And also the ending of the movie I thought was really weird. Like,
Oh, well, I think the end of the movie was mostly weird because of the pacing, because it got kind of fucking...
it had one of those
And
ends
we're
that just,
here!
like-
And you're like,
It just
what?
ended.
Yeah, the credits started rolling and I was like... I mean, I blinked for a second, but we're here, I guess.
I really enjoyed the score for this movie. Was really beautiful. The music was really nice. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. The animation was pretty good. I thought at the start when there was all these weird creations and stuff, I'm like, what the hell am I watching? But yeah. Like
the opening witch running away part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it throws you that 100 miles an hour. Yeah, I know. I clicked play on the movie and I was like, I sat down to eat it with my
Did
lunch.
I accidentally skip a scene?
No, because I sat down to eat it with my lunch and I couldn't look away for the first 5 minutes because I was like, I need to be paying attention to fucking everything happening right now.
Yeah, this is going 100 miles. This is going to be great.
100 miles an hour. Like, movies usually ease you in, but I was like, watched all that and then it cut away and then we get to Mary and I'm like, all right, guess I'll start eating my fucking lunch now. Like, I can look away for a hot second between takes here, but okay. Overall, it's like, for a first movie for a new animation studio, it's like if you were looking at it and you weren't comparing it to Studio Ghibli, if it didn't have that connection, it would be like, this is a great first movie for a new animation studio. You'd be like, it's not amazing, but it's like a pretty good first effort. But because it does have that talent involved in it and the comparison to Studio Ghibli, everyone's just going to be like, not good enough, not up to the par, you know. And I think that's the problem with it is because of the comparison. But without that, I'd be like,
I just
great.
think it didn't fill the shoes. Like it didn't. It was like a kid wearing their dad's shoes. You know, it wasn't. They're trying to be Studio Ghibli. They're trying to take on that mantle that's now, you know, left empty, but they just didn't quite hit the mark for me.
Yeah, it was just the storytelling let it down. Let's be honest. You can't get past
Animation,
it.
everything great. Script, no.
It's nice to know that also the Japanese can't convert books to
Yeah.
to like TV shows or movies.
Well, to be fair, they literally transform mangas into long-running animations and movies. But you know,
Just okay, Western books. Let's say Western books.
Yeah,
are
that's
hard to
fair.
translate.
That's fair. All right, I think that brings us to the end of this episode of What Do You Want to Watch? Ciaran, where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me at your boy Ringo on the Twitters or over at twitch.tv/Explosion Network.
Dylan, where can people find you on Twitter and also, more importantly, on Trakt.tv?
at Vivladil, VRVALADIL. You can be my friend. I think it's Trakt.tv/user/username.
Just search Viva La Dill.
Yeah.
Or
Find him.
you can search Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY on Trakt, or you can find me on that Twitter handle on Twitter. If you want to follow the network on Twitter, you can always find us at Explosion Pod. And of course, you can find us on Twitch, like Ciaran said, at twitch.tv/Explosion Network, where we do the occasional review discussion about films. Will we be doing one about Mission Impossible Fallout? I don't know. Possibly. I haven't discussed it with anybody, but it could be a thing. If it's not, if you don't find it live, if you don't see it live on twitch.tv/Explosion Network, I mean, you can always look it up later on youtube.com/Explosion Network, where it'll inevitably end up. Or you can go to explosionnetwork.com to find that, or any of our reviews, including Dylan's review of the premiere of Sharp Objects, which I'm pretty sure is the last review you did for something.
I did America after that.
Oh yeah, and who is America, which is also very good. If you want to send us an email telling me how I should really do these outros better, you can always send it to mail@explosionnetwork.com. And if you would be so kind, why not leave us a 5-star iTunes review, or any amount of stars iTunes review? You can leave criticism in there. We really appreciate it. Or if you don't want to give Apple your personal information, you can always go to Podchaser. All our podcasts are over there. You can leave comments on every single episode and rate every single episode. There's rating everywhere. Thank you guys for joining me this week, and until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
The Explosion Network's premier media podcast, What Do You Want to Watch, is a fortnightly show hosted by Ashley Hobley that covers the biggest stories in movies, TV, online media, and more before asking, what did we end up watching? Each episode, we discuss one particular movie or show that you can join in the discussion with by tweeting us, emailing, or posting on our Discord. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts or other podcasting services, or find the show at explosionnetwork.com.
Joining me today, Dylan Blight.
Hey, I delete my Facebook and history every time it pops up.
Also joining me, Ciaran Blight. Ciaran March.
Ciaran Blight? Did you just call me?
You can't take that one back ever.
Oh, no.
Joining me today, Ciaran Marchant.
Oh, hey, what up? Sorry, I was contemplating my marriage to Dylan.
That's an odd.
I was like,
That's
where
an
did that
odd.
come from?
Shit's legal these days.
Yeah, it is. It is. I just didn't know it happened. There's lots of things, but hey, what happens in Shepparton stays in Shepparton, people. That's
right. Hashtag Shep Life.
All of this is getting cut. Let's jump into it. Dylan, you were super sick last episode. That's why you weren't here, but you